Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome back for another card. Today I am making a Valentine's Day card and I'm using some Simon Says stamp products. The first is this Heart Parade die, which I've had for a while and I love it. I've used it many times. And then this Drawn Heart background stamp, which I thought was new, but I think it was actually released last year, but it's new to me. I just got it. So I'm going to ink it up with some Versamark ink. I'll lay my cardstock on there, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in full size and then I'll trim it later. Now I'm using some embossing pearl in silver. This is made by Ranger and it's an embossing powder that goes on white but it has a pearl shine to it. So I'm going to heat this to set it and then I'll slow it down and pick it up so that you can see how pretty and shiny it is. It's a really nice look. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is trim this down to about 3 inches high. I'm going to keep it 5 1/2 wide and I'm going to center my Heart Parade die and use my paper piercer to go ahead and pop out all the different pieces. Now what I'm going to do is take the outline. I'm going to use a scratch sheet of paper and some adhesive. I'm just going to stick it on there and use some Versamark ink so that I don't have to touch it with my finger because it'll get in the way. So I'll ink it up and then I'm going to sprinkle on some black embossing powder. And this is going to create some shine for the outline. And then I'll heat this to set it, and all I need is my paper piercer, and I'm just going to pop it up off that adhesive, and it'll come right off. Now what I like to do if I'm using black embossing powder on an outline or a sentiment is I heat the back, because sometimes some black powder gets on the back that doesn't get heat set, and then it might get on your card base. So now I'm going to take all the pieces that popped out of the die, I'm going to ink them up with a sponge dauber and some pink Pirouette ink by Stampin' Up. This is just some dye ink and it's a light pink color. And now I'll take the outside and then the outline and I'm turning them upside down. And what I want to do is I want to adhere this outline to the outside, to the negative. So I'm going to take some of this surgical tape, it's micropore tape, paper tape, called a bunch of different things, and I'm going to use it to adhere the outline to the outside and also show the adhesive on the other side of the heart so that I can put all of those little pieces back into place. So not only is this going to hold the outline against the back, but it's also going to give me some stickiness to put my pieces back in. So I'm going to stick all the pieces in. Now notice I didn't put any tape over that center heart because I'm going to leave it open. And these are really easy to put in and they stick very well. Alright, now I'm just going to take some string. This is just some embroidery thread that I got at my local craft store. And I'm going to put some adhesive on the back and I'll wrap it around the top of the heart on each side. And then I'm going to have them meet at the top, and that's where I'm going to put a bow. Now I'm going to slow this down so you can see how I make a bow. It actually usually takes me a couple times. So start over. A loop, wrap it around, and then pull it through. And then I use my fingers to hold it in the center while I pull the ends to get the loops the way I want them. And sometimes you have to reshape the loops a little bit, but for the most part this technique works pretty well. Alright, now I wanted to have a black outline, but I wanted to do it pretty easily without having to cut teeny tiny strips. So what I did was I put some Tombow Mono multi glue on the back of the heart sheet like this. And then I have a 1/2 inch black strip cut, and then I can place my panel anywhere I want on that black. So now I'm just evening it up with the other side. And I use glue instead of tape runner so that I can wiggle it around if I need to. Alright, now I'm going to just put some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals on the back to pop it up. Remove the backing and I'll center it on my card base 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I had some excess black there that I trimmed off. And then finally, I'm going to put a sentiment on there. Now I use the Filled with Love set. I've used this so many times. It's a very versatile set. And there's a bunch of different sentiments at the top that'll fit in this heart. So I just picked the XOXO one. And then I'll take a glue dot and put it in. I actually ended up putting it between my fingers, rolling it up and putting it right there at the top. And I'll squish my bow into it. And I find that this is the best way to secure a bow without having to wait for something to dry. And it actually stays put. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this card and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.